Hi everyone, this is Sara and it's week 66. This week we're talking about the things that we love about dating a trans person. I'm sorry I haven't been around lately. My computer has been an asshole and my camera hasn't really been working, so I've unfortunately missed out on two great topics, but I'm hoping that it'll work with me from here on in. So anyways, I don't really want to make this into a long video either. I feel the same way as Safia in that trans people can become fetishized or eroticized, and that's not something that I want to do. So the three things that I would say that I like most about dating a trans person, most importantly I would say I really enjoy how Seth understands me, because he was socialized as a female. He can kind of understand where I'm coming from, some of my emotions, and he just generally gets me. Now that he's been on T for almost, I think it'll be 3 years in April, I think more of that now is just the fact that we've been together for so long, but it definitely still, there's definitely still part of it that relates to him being socialized as a female. So that's definitely a really amazing thing about dating a trans person. Physically, I would say that I personally find that trans men are more attractive than cisgender men. That's not to say that cisgender men aren't attractive, but I just find that the combination of somewhat feminine features and masculine features as they're going through transition are extremely attractive. Seth has really high cheekbones, and while they've kind of become less noticeable, they're kind of hidden now, I guess, because it's probably because his jaw has grown, so it kind of balances it out now. But he did have really high cheekbones, and he still kind of does. He also has really long eyelashes and somewhat feminine eyes. They've changed as well since he's been on T. Same with his lips, actually. They've become less feminine in a way that I can't really describe, but they're still somewhat feminine, and they make his face, even though it's becoming harder, it still softens his face to an extent that I just personally find really attractive. And lastly, I actually really agreed with something that Safia said about checking your privilege while walking around with someone who is trans, or someone who's genderqueer, or someone who isn't cisgender, basically. Seeing the things that he goes through or has gone through in the past really reminds me of how easy that I have it being a white cisgender individual. I don't really, it's not as much of a noticeable thing now that he's been on T for so long, because he's never read as female. He's been on T for 3 years, so there's nothing really feminine about him that would let someone know that he is trans. But there are still things he goes through, like having to pay ridiculous amounts of money for changing his name, changing his gender marker, the surgeries he's had to go through. I especially had a really hard time when he had to have a hysterectomy. He was in a lot of pain right after, of course, and I remember him saying something along the lines, when he was somewhat under the influence of morphine, he kind of said, "I just wish that I had the right body," or something along those lines. And that like broke my heart. I like broke down in tears right away. So it's definitely little things like that that a lot of people take for granted, and I'm constantly reminded of that, being with someone who isn't as privileged as I am in some ways. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much, there are tons of things that I love about Seth and being with him, but those are definitely three of the things that I think about on an everyday basis. So I guess that's all for now. I hope my camera's going to work for me next week. And if not, then I'll see you guys sometime soon, I guess. Have a good weekend, everybody.